The film begins by depicting a scene in Japan in 1844. During this time, the most powerful leader was the shogun Tokugawa, who served as the top commander or general of the nation. Everything was peaceful until a nobleman named Matsudaira Naritsugu of the Akashi clan began to cause trouble with his extremely cruel behavior. He started committing terrible acts, including hurting, mutilating, assaulting, and even killing both important people and common folks for no clear reason. Despite his open cruelty, no one could speak out against him because the government was protecting him. Furthermore, Naritsugu was the shogun's younger brother, which meant he was in line to become the leader someday. One day, a man from the Mamiya clan took a drastic step to show his strong disapproval of Naritsugu becoming part of the shogun's council. He openly performed seppuku, the traditional act of honorable death for a samurai. This man's actions were driven by a deep hatred for Naritsugu, who had killed all of his family members. Following this brave man's death, the shogun's Minister of Justice, Sir Doi, quickly held a secret meeting with the group of officials who opposed Naritsugu's appointment to the council. During the meeting, Sir Doi warned them that if Naritsugu were to join the council, it would very likely lead to a war between the shogun and many other important social and political leaders. After some time, the shogun still intended to promote Naritsugu. Knowing this, Sir Doi decided to seek help from a trusted samurai named Shinzaemon, who enjoyed fishing as a hobby. Sir Doi secretly met with Shinzaemon and asked him to take action against Naritsugu. He also brought along his friend, Yuki, a well-known leader in the Owari clan, who had witnessed Naritsugu's cruelty. There, Yuki recounted a terrible incident from a year prior. When Naritsugu had stopped in the town of Shisui during his travels, Yuki had offered him a party, sending his son's wife, his daughter-in-law, to provide the most delicious food in the city. Instead of accepting the food, Naritsugu committed a horrifying act by assaulting Yuki's daughter-in-law. When Yuki's son discovered what happened and tried to calm his wife, Naritsugu suddenly killed him. Left in such shame, the wife chose to do the unthinkable. After hearing Yuki's story, Sir Doi showed Shinzaemon a girl from a farmer's family in Akashi who had suffered terribly at Naritsugu's hands. Naritsugu had assaulted her entire family, using her to satisfy his desires before heartlessly discarding her. This horrifying tale filled Samurai Shinzaemon with a burning desire for revenge against Naritsugu. Meanwhile, one of Naritsugu's loyal followers, Hanbai, learned that his master had mercilessly slaughtered the Mamiya clan family. Hanbai pleaded with Naritsugu to spare them, but his pleas were ignored, and the killings proceeded. After witnessing Naritsugu's cruelty, Hanbai received word that Sir Doi was plotting to kill Naritsugu. In response, Hanbai ordered his men to keep a close watch on Sir Doi. The following day, Hanbai received a surprising message from Sir Doi, informing him that he had enlisted Shinzaemon's help. This news left Hanbai in shock, as he had known Shinzaemon from their time in the same class and was aware of his firm determination. Meanwhile, Shinzaemon began gathering his best samurai warriors. His first recruit was Hirayama, his top student. He then reached out to his friend Kuranaga, who was eager to join him. Besides Kuranaga, 6 skilled samurai who were Kuranaga's best students joined the team: Mitsuhashi, Hioki, Otaka, Ishizuka, Higuchi, and Hori. During their meeting, Shinzaemon devised a plan to attack Naritsugu while he was traveling from Edo to Akashi. After the meeting, as one of the samurai was heading home, he was suddenly attacked by a group of mysterious men. Fortunately, Hirayama came to the rescue and easily defeated the attackers. These men turned out to be professional soldiers sent by Hanbai to keep an eye on Shinzaemon's actions. Hanbai soon realized that Shinzaemon's samurai team was no ordinary group. The following day, Shinzaemon felt his team was still lacking, so he approached his cousin, Shinrakuro, who had a fondness for gambling. Initially, Shinrakuro had doubts about joining the mission because he cherished his girlfriend deeply and feared the dangers of the battlefield. But after some thought, Shinrakuro changed his mind and decided to join Shinzaemon. He bid farewell to his girlfriend, realizing he was embarking on a noble mission. The next day, Shinzaemon added 2 new members to the team, Ogura and Sahara. However, Sahara asked for some money up front, which he planned to use to create graves for his wife and children. After agreeing to Sahara's request, Shinrakuro joined as well. In the end, the group of samurai led by Shinzaemon grew to 12 members. Over time, they began practicing their swordsmanship and crafting explosives they would use against Naritsugu's troops. One evening during a strategy meeting, Hanbai suddenly appeared and warned Shinzaemon about the significant risks involved in trying to kill Naritsugu. Despite knowing that Naritsugu's actions were wrong, Hanbai defended him, arguing that Naritsugu was the last heir who could continue the shogun's legacy. Shinzaemon, however, remained determined to take the risk and let Hanbai go. Then, they both vowed to fight when the time came. The next day, Naritsugu began his journey from the Edo region to Akashi. Meanwhile, Shinzaemon was trying to figure out the best time to attack Naritsugu's troops. After some thought, Shinzaemon gathered his samurai and told them they would launch their attack on Naritsugu's forces in the city of Ochiai. Shinzaemon also instructed 2 of his samurai to buy various supplies and equipment in the city. At the same time, he asked Kuranaga to seek help from Yuki. Once everything was prepared, Shinzaemon led his troops on horseback through the countryside. Upon reaching a village, they were suddenly attacked by a gang of bandits who showed up from a bar. A fierce battle ensued, but Shinzaemon's samurai easily won. It turned out that these bandits were actually professional soldiers sent by Hanbai who were trying to stop them. Upon realizing that Hanbai already knew their planned route, Shinzaemon and his samurai decided to take a path through the mountains. However, during their journey, they became lost in the dense forest. Eventually, they came across a hunter named Koyota who had become trapped. Shinzaemon freed Koyota and struck a deal where Koyota would guide them in the right direction in exchange for food. From that moment on, Koyota became the 13th member of their group, even though he wasn't a samurai by profession. At the same time, Naritsugu and his soldiers were caught off guard when Yuki blocked their path by closing the bridge. Naritsugu even approached Yuki with the intent to kill him. However, Yuki's men quickly aimed their weapons at Naritsugu, forcing Hanbai to tell his master to retreat. Hanbai and Naritsugu paused briefly at the forest's edge to discuss which route to take. Surprisingly, Naritsugu suggested they take the path that had been prepared as a trap by Shinzaemon. After Naritsugu departed, Yuki made the painful decision to perform seppuku to conceal his involvement in the plan to kill Naritsugu. The next day, Shinzaemon and his fellow samurai made it to Ochiai City. They teamed up to set up traps and build forts filled with explosives. The following day, Ishizuka, who was keeping an eye on Naritsugu's soldiers, rejoined the group and told Shinzaemon that Naritsugu had disappeared from the expected route. This worried the samurai because they thought Naritsugu might have chosen a different path, but Shinzaemon wasn't concerned because he believed Hanbai already knew about their plan and couldn't avoid it. Shinzaemon then ordered the samurai to set up more traps to strengthen their plan. As evening came, they started to get anxious because Naritsugu's troops hadn't passed by yet. When night turned to morning, Sahara, who was watching the forest, rushed back to the city with news that Naritsugu's forces were approaching. Not only that, but Sahara also revealed that Naritsugu's troops numbered 200 people, not just 70. Despite being outnumbered, Shinzaemon wasn't scared. He assured his troops that they could still fight Naritsugu's forces. As the sun rose, Naritsugu and Hanbai's troops finally reached the city. Hanbai and his troops escorted Naritsugu through the small town. Along the way, Hanbai noticed that the townspeople were fleeing toward the forest. Soon after, a massive wooden gate suddenly blocked their path. When they tried to go back to the bridge that connected the town, the bridge was blown up by samurai leader Shinzaemon. Thus, Naritsugu and his troops found themselves trapped inside the town. With the enemy trapped, Shinzaemon and his samurai team launched an attack on Naritsugu's forces using explosives, arrows, and swords. Koyota, who didn't have a weapon, used slingshots and wood to attack the enemy. The 13 samurai attacked one after another, causing many casualties among Naritsugu's troops. At that time, the enemy couldn't put up much resistance, and even seeking shelter in buildings proved useless because those buildings were full of explosives. After the first attack, only a few enemy troops were left, which motivated Shinzaemon even more to finish them off. Shortly after, they engaged in close combat. During the battle between the 13 samurai and Hanbai's troops, Hanbai decided to shield Naritsugu from harm to keep him safe. But soon after, one of Hanbai's soldiers found what seemed like an escape route and led Naritsugu toward it. However, this path turned out to be a trap. They were confronted by the great samurai Hirayama. In a short time, Hirayama managed to defeat dozens of Hanbai's soldiers who were protecting Naritsugu. When Hirayama was about to attack Naritsugu, Hanbai suddenly appeared with more soldiers. In the end, Hirayama had to retreat, and Hanbai and Naritsugu were left trapped. As the battle went on, one after another, Shinzaemon's men began to lose their lives. This intense battle turned the city into a bloody scene, as many people witnessed the violence. Surprisingly, Naritsugu was seen smiling during the chaos. He even confessed that he couldn't wait to serve on the shogun's council so he could experience blood wars like those in the Sengoku era again. Despite losing many of their own, the samurai managed to defeat a large portion of Hanbai's troops until only a few were left. At that critical moment, Koyoda confronted Naritsugu and his remaining troops, armed only with a piece of wood. In response, Naritsugu threw his sword at Koyoda, and Hanbai immediately killed him, causing Koyoda to fall. After a long battle, Shinzaiman's samurai finally defeated the entire army of Hanbai, leaving only Naritsugu, Hanbai, and 2 of their followers. Now they had to face Shinzaiman and Shinrikuro. Shinzaiman prepared to face Hanbai in a one-on-one battle. Both of them were skilled swordsmen. Eventually, Shinzaiman managed to knock down Hanbai and kill him. At the same time, Shinrikuro took on 2 of Naritsugu's followers and defeated them. Unexpectedly, Naritsugu kicked Hanbai, who had been a loyal follower, and sacrificed his life for him. Naritsugu also insulted the idea that regular people and samurai had the same purpose, which was to serve their master. However, Shinzaiman disagreed. He explained that rulers couldn't survive without the support of their people. If rulers abused their power, the people would not hesitate to rise up and oppose them. Upon hearing this, Naritsugu grew angry and stamped Shinzaiman. But Shinzaiman did the same in return, seeking revenge for the people who had suffered because of Naritsugu. For the first time, Naritsugu felt such pain that he had to crawl on the grass with no one to assist him. Next, Shinzaiman approached Naritsugu and swiftly killed him. After that, he lay down with a happy grin on his face, celebrating his victory over the most vicious person in Japan. Shinzaiman also gave a message to Shinrikuro, telling him to follow his heart and do as he pleased. In the end, Shinzaiman took his final breath. Shinrikuro then walked through the blood-soaked streets of Ochiai. Eventually, he spotted someone who showed up joyfully from the ruins of a building. To their surprise, it was Koyoda, who had miraculously survived despite being seriously injured. They shared their plans for the future, and Koyoda mentioned he would return to his previous life of hunting in the forest and living away from cities. Meanwhile, Shinrikuro decided to marry his girlfriend and leave Japan for America. After their victory against the enemy, the 2 friends parted ways to pursue their separate lives. In the end, it is mentioned that the shogun concealed the true events, stating that Naritsugu had died of an illness on his way to Akashi. 23 years later, the Tokugawa shogunate was overthrown during the Meiji Restoration, and the film concludes. So, what did you think of the movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.